Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Swift Community Live broadcast of the SZR Autumn Race Series today on this October 4th, 2017. Riders are getting out on course right now, but we definitely want to go over real quickly what the current standings are in the racing in the series to date. So let's go ahead and take a quick little look over at zwiftpower.com, and we'll go ahead and see where the current leaders are and who we need to be watching out for in the series. So looks like so far today, as of to date, Kim Little is currently killing it with 50 points overall in the series right now with just 2 races under his belt. In the C category, then we also have Rickard Johansson following him up for second. Tied for second, there it is, Peter Hicks, followed up by Frederick Ornlid, and then Dennis Westman. Michael Johnson in the D category, killing it with 2 races and 30 points, currently leading that category. That is the current standings overall. In the A, B, and C's, we can take a look real quickly. Kim Little, followed by Johan Gren, Brandy Melton Talo as well. We'll see, I believe Johan is getting some approval still from the community, and we'll see if he's able to hold on to those points in this series. And then from there, let's go ahead and take a look. Pete Hicks, Bo Dertel, and Bard Anderson. We'll see for the Vikings team. I do believe Anderson has shown up today. I will keep an eye on the B category for sure. Ricard Johansson, followed by Frederick Ornid, and then Dennis Westman. That is your top three for each of the categories A, B, and C. For the D category, Mikael Johnson, John Anderson, and then Peter Yanarad. We'll take a look. We'll make sure we're watching out for them. No women joining up. It looks like perhaps we'll have to get some encouragement to them to get out there and start racing. Team Experimental killing it overall in the A's. And then BRT team in the B's. C's, it is 67 points for SZ. And then 73 points for SZ as well. Good to see Team Sweden killing it out there. Let's get right into the racing as they have gotten out on course. In the A category, then it does look like a lead group has been forming up toward the front. We are seeing H. Wickstrom actually here. Interesting to see from the Zwift Academy hammering down the road in the race here out of the USA actually. Kim Little has shown up and is looking to defend, it looks like, for Team Experimental today. It does look like Brandon Maltintello as well is in the pack for the A's. He is currently in third place actually with 21 points. So be watching out for him to try to defend and even move up in the racing series, as Johan, I'm not sure, has shown up today, maybe unable to defend that second place. We'll take a look and see if we do see that PTZ name, that PTZ kit with the Gren man. Going out the front immediately, though, we have Mr. Brett Boniface, not waiting for nobody. Sitting in first place currently, Brett Boniface, 9.5 watts per kilogram. Davis there trying to follow it up from the WBR, not letting that get anywhere. It is a flat course today. Three laps on the flat course today of the Greater London Flat. So going to be really interesting tactical race. And with Brett and Davis trying to get away right from the get-go, it's going to be a long day in the setup for the chase group to bring these two back here. Chablis now we are seeing, followed by Esbe and Napke, leading things out for the main group now. So Boniface, though, 9 watts per kilogram. And here's the interesting thing. He timed this right because he attacked prior to the climb. A lot of times people will wait until the climb and then attack, but he got a gap prior to the cap and then has a prior to the climb and has the continuance over the climb in order to really open a gap on the other side. That's going to be the main question here. If he continues on at about 9 watts per kilogram up and over the top here, he will form a solid group. But the blob, as Ian Anderson calls it, is on its way. It's going to be interesting to see if these boys can hold this up. It was 6 seconds. It's going to be a tough day for the chase here. Here comes Casey Shum working for the current series leader, Kim Little. James Hodges is there as well. Brandon Meltentalo, I believe, has shown up today, but where's the KRT boy? 2 seconds back. There he is. But Hodges is working with him, it looks like. Also sitting in 9th place overall. Casey Shum also working for Team Experimental, but 8th place overall currently with a solid 2 races under his belt for Team Experimental. Brett Boniface also with only 1 race, currently sitting in 7th overall, tied with 15 points actually to Mr. Casey Shum actually. So this is definitely some interesting racing heating up for the series out there today, with some teams showing up in force right now in order to try and work together and hold things together on the point scale. Kim Little there, maybe not, well, probably not in a whole lot of trouble just yet. Only a 7-second gap, and with 50 points, solidly sat at the top of the series in this A category, but it could get whittled away at over time here. ODZ, though, only with, it looks like, Brett Boniface in the break, but he does have some support out there, it looks like, with Mr. Matt Johnson actually out there for ODZ. I'm actually going to take a look real quick over at the zwiftpower.com live results right now and see if we do have any other ODZ riders in and amongst the pack. Looking through it, I do see Brett Boniface. Does look like MT Johnson is there as well. No other ODZs that I do see amongst the pack here. So it's going to be 2V, a whole lot of others. Team Experimental with Casey and Kim Little. It looks like S. Gray has shown up as well I believe in amongst this pack, I am seeing at least 3 Team Experimental jerseys in there today. Argama there for PTZ is in there as well. I'm not seeing Johan Grendo out there today for the defense of that jersey. If you'd like to interact with the broadcast, you can do so by jumping on over to the Facebook or Twitter, to our Facebook, Zwift Community Live's Facebook, that we are live over there, or you can tweet at us if you're watching on one of the live streaming platforms. Go ahead and tweet at us at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. We can bring you right on into the broadcast, just like Johnny is showing us exactly how to interact with the broadcast right on here. So any questions or comments, ask them here or tweet at Z Community Live. What are your thoughts on rebranding? Lee Gosden is asking. I'm actually really enjoying it. You can listen to the Zwiftcast actually and hear all of my thoughts. Actually, Zwiftcast just went live, and you can definitely check out the Zwiftcast over at YouTube or the audio over at Zwiftcast.com, and you can hear all our thoughts on the new branding. Please move the arrow from the center of the screen, Brent. Sometimes I don't have control over that actually because of our setup, but I will do so as much as I possibly can. Whenever I am interacting between the computers, there is a little bit of something that holds up the ability for me to take the arrow from the center of the screen, but I appreciate you helping out with the technical side of the broadcast. Picture is Box Hill, not flat, is what I'm being told by Mr. Tom Hammerberg. So interesting to see that. Wait, the logo changed? Why hasn't anyone posted about that? Andrew is asking. I absolutely love it there, Andrew. All right, so Brett still up the front, and it looks like Kim Little was able to close it down to Boniface here. Now with these two off the front, there's a serious threat, as you can see, because these are two of the strongest men we've ever seen ride out on Zwift in the A category. F is here. And F is saying, forget that. I am going to the front and hammering away and going to try and catch up to these boys. Interesting name there. I would be surprised if that's a Mr. Allenby out there today, just because it is a UK flag. And then he's changed his name because he is always one to make a joke out on Zwift and have some fun with things and still be crazy strong. But I'm not sure if it actually is. I'm going to have to find out who F is. Oh, gosh. All right, so moving over on to the ZwiftPower.com, I'm going to figure out exactly who is this F guy with a question mark next to his name, actually. And it looks like F has raced out on Zwift. You know, oh, it's 40. It's actually 40, boys and girls. The man himself. It is Le Monstre. 86 races out on Zwift. And if anybody can close it down to Kim Little and work with him, it is going to be 40, the F-man. So Boniface now going right along with him. Hodges is there as well. Gamma, PTZ, Nopke has been able to go with the moves at this point. Has there been any breaks? Not just yet. Jay Adams, Sullivan, Daniels, Pinto, Hoppy Marita is in there as well. Surprised Team Experimental hasn't recruited him up just yet. Now Davis, Rung, and Daniels all in and amongst the group. Weitzner is still flat course and a huge field still all together in this A category. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in the B category. We are seeing a solo rider. Sorry, not a solo rider off the front. Does look like there is a large group actually sitting around 50th place right now currently in the broadcaster mode. Let's go ahead and see what is happening with 50th place and move on forward. So from the helicopter view over here with the B category, moving on forward, 47th place currently for Burnt Zen. Sitting in 146 beats per minute, not hammering away just yet. Everybody seems fairly comfortable with the large group out on the Greater London Loop flat here. With 19th place, we are seeing Rodlund from the SZR team. Ford is there as well from the BRT team. He's moving on forward, it looks like. 20th place. 13th place currently is going to be Absalom. Not on the mountain bike, though. Kubota is in the house. The Duck riding for Vision Cycling, actually, in the B category today, hammering away. Nice job to see her out there. 157 beats per minute. Watch out for the Duck for taking the win today. She's got a crazy FTP. And second place currently is going to be Sorensen, and Kubota then moving up toward first as she's getting some time in the limelight. 240 watts or so, 156 beats per minute as the pack is flying along. But there's a huge group here, 60 plus riders, I believe, in this B category without anybody breaking away. And the blob may be real today. For those of you who do not know, Ian Anderson had, I believe, his nickname for the pack is going to be catching on. So interesting to see if they're going to be able to break away or not at all during this B category race. Out on the flats, it's going to be difficult, I believe. T-Max can't afford Hoppy's wages, Kim Little is saying about Hoppy not riding for Team Experimental. Just Whitehall and a couple of underpasses. D. Williams is saying, Daffod, are you racing tonight? Let me know. And BJ Alfonso, good to see you hanging out in the broadcast as well. Let me hear all about what you think of the new logo. Go ahead and interact at us over on Twitter. What do you think of the new logo out on Zwift? Love to hear from those who are hanging out over at Zwift Community Live's Facebook or over on Twitter. We'd love to hear all about your thoughts on the new branding and what it has to say. Have you listened to the Zwiftcast is the other question that I would ask the viewers as well, because we have some pretty good thoughts in there about why and how it works. And I'm on board. I didn't know if I would be. The first time I saw it, I was like, what was that? But I have kind of coming to the light side, or is it the dark side? That's the question. Light or dark, boys and girls? Tron bike, the best bike for racing. And that is a great question, Tom Hammerberg. And yes, I would say that the Tron bike overall is the most well-rounded racing bike, actually. It is the fastest. So definitely, if you can earn that bike, I would go ahead and do so. Now, there is, if you were a beta user, you could have the Cervelo S5 with the full rear disc wheel, and that may still be the fastest bike out on Zwift. You definitely have to see if zwiftblog.com has done any updates recently on the fastest equipment. They do a lot of tests over there on what the fastest equipment is. The last time they tested, it was the Tron bike. So yes, the Tron bike is the one to go forward. And BJ Alfonso over at the Mixer channel is saying that he likes the new logo, and Zwift is getting bigger, so the logo can go bigger as well. Loving the comment there, BJ Alfonso. And I'd not exactly the same reasoning I would go with, but I'm liking it too. So we do have an attack here going off the front here. It doesn't look like it is going to be 40 himself with that KOM jersey as well. Was there a race that these boys just competed in, actually? Brett Boniface with MT Johnson. Now off the front for the ODZ boys now. Actually, it's not Brett Boniface. It's actually Johnson right along with Kim Little, excuse me. And then 40 all together. 3 off the front with 10 seconds now. And this is a dangerous move, actually. We missed the attack, actually. Sorry about that, guys. So we're going to have to look through here and see, though. Is 40 actually doubling up the races, or did he just decide to go grab a quick little KOM up and over the top of the climb in between for his warm-up here? I am seeing it is going to be an XRS ZTR Tuesday Night Worlds on the 3rd yesterday. So definitely just a quick little warm-up climb on, I believe, Fox Hill perhaps, because we are going backwards out on course right now. Nice job to him for that KOM out there. We'll go ahead and give him a ride on. Nice warm up for him for that KOM. Kim Little here, 161 beats per minute. Not killing himself just yet. Johnson now hanging on as well. This is the upset man with the well-timed arrow power up a few weeks back and completely demolished a field of riders that usually never gets beat. I believe even took down the likes of Kim, not Kim Little. I believe Kim was in that, but also Mr. Tim Cartwright, actually. Now Gamma here for PTZ on the front, hammer away 5.1 watts per kilogram with 7 seconds. Not sure they're going to see him. Boniface now with a perfectly timed attack, 10.9 watts per kilogram, 700 watts. This is the way that you close things down. Learn that lesson there right here from the Canadian man, Boniface himself, because you don't drag the pack with you when you've got one up ahead. You attack it full on, all out, immediate gap. Closes the 7 second, grabs on the wheel, 177 beats per minute, and now you do see it is 2 ODZs with all of the motivation to be working together and keep that gap. And I'm not sure these boys are going to be seen again. There's not that many strong men compared to that group up front. The KRT, though, are the ones that are going to have to close it down. They've got nobody represented, and they've got some in the top 10 for the series right now. So, Melting Tallow, will they close it down here? PTZ as well, to have a few in the top 10 as well for the series. Will they close it down? So, it's going to be PTZ, WBR, right along with the BRT team, and we are also seeing in their team experimental without a whole lot of motivation making the chases, as they do have Kim Little represented up ahead. So it's just going to be KRT, BRT, and PTZ teams looking to close this down. 10 seconds is the gap, but they're going to have to be working on the front continually here. 5.9 watts per kilogram. Kim now starting to kick up in the 7, knowing that they are going uphill, and this is one of the only places out on course where they can really put the hurt on from the gravity. Now Casey Shump kicking as well, 10 watts per kilogram. Another immediate gap. James Hodges now knowing that KRT is getting left out in the rain now at this point. So here comes the rain. Melting Man is dropping the rain, and it looks like the watts as well. And that is going to bring the group maybe all back together. But the question is, will the rest of the group be able to hold on? And the attacks need to go off the front right now from this group still, actually, in order to continue on with the break. And this is the perfect timing to do it, because the uphill gradient right there to snap the elastic off the back, because everybody's heart rates are going to be flying upward at this point. Everybody is going to be on the rivet because of these attacks. Everybody's been having to do at least 4.5 to 6, maybe even 7 watts per kilogram to hold on to this pace right now at this point. So with the Melting Tallow, Melting Man on the front, 6 watts per kilogram now. We are seeing 40 there hanging on Rung, Boniface, but they have to continue on at 6 plus in order to hold on to this gap. Now, Johnson holding the door. Hold on the front here, making sure nobody's coming around him. Actually drops it down to 3.5, 4.0 watts per kilogram. Daniel sees what's happening here, but Boniface here continues on the front, knowing the race tactics, knowing how to make the breaks happen. Up in that 8 watts per kilogram again, continues to try and sprint away. 175 beats per minute, 100 RPMs full on right now from Boniface. And there is the gap they were looking for. Experimental now being left out in the rain, it looks like, as the Melting Man as well, unable to go with it. It's going to be Rung, ODZ, and 40 continuing on, but will ODZ even get dropped off now at this point? Holding on to the wheel. Kalen now throwing his cards on the table. Didn't even see Tom O'Kalen in the race till just now. Coming out of Norway here. Watch out for the mountain bike man. Bringing it all back together, and the blob is real, boys and girls. Looks like it is all together out on course. I think the new Z grows on you, Lee Gosden is saying. I'm totally with you there, Lee Gosden. Coming from the social medias, actually. Do see that comment coming on through over at the Facebook. Thanks a lot for your comment there. And I am with that as well. And the more times you see it, actually, I believe, in different branding places, the more you go, oh, that actually makes a lot of sense, it seems like. Standing alone all by itself, it's a little bit different, but I think brands are meant to be used on things, with things, and in different kinds of media. And as you can see here, it looks all right behind me. I'm liking it. So Big Matt there. Looks like not riding for WBR. Is currently sitting in 8th place in this race today. I'm looking forward now. Daniel's all back together. I thought for sure with 10 seconds they were not going to be seen again. You do see that there are a few off the back here though that have been dropped off from the consistent attacks up and over the top of that little climb on the Greater London, actually, as we do see these red dots making that chase there behind this main group. It is going to be Hagenbach here from the GTT team out of Norway. Pinto there from the PTZ team out of Portugal, 171 beats per minute. Going to have his work cut out for him to close down that 2-second gap, maybe in the entrance of the Norwegian to just hold up just a tad. And Pinto can work together with him to hold off the SZ rider here in that neon and blue kit they use from Training Peaks there. We are seeing, it looks like Jacobson. Oxenham is in there as well as Pete. And then looking back, it will be Wickstrom there out of the USA, hammering along with the main chase group out there today. Wickstrom, let's go ahead and see what's happening with H. Wickstrom as she's making her way around the course. Be really interesting to see what kind of A races she's done in the past here. Looking through, it looks like no races actually. Well, no Zwift Power account registered, but perhaps one race for 41st place, first place in the past. Well, if anybody's got information on Wickstrom here, I'd love to know actually. Currently solid 4.7 watts per kilogram for the duration of 20 minutes out there. So killing it looks like. Unable to make the lead group though through those attacks, but definitely sitting solid here. And it looks like, I believe, 44th place out there today. That's such an amazing, such an amazing addition to the World of Zwift actually, with those placings. It looks like there has been a break here in the B category though, as we do head on back to them. 52nd place, but it doesn't look like there's 50 riders in and amongst this B category. I do believe that there are a few up front. As we look for the map here, it looks to be only about a 10-second gap or so as we move forward though. It is definitely about 14 seconds there as we are seeing Nordquist here in the back of this group in 44th place. Now actually this isn't even moving forward to, that is actually the second chase group we were looking at now. This may be the first group now, as we are seeing a large contingent of riders about to make their way around the U-turn here out on the red road. B. Curtis is there. I believe Anderson there is in 3rd place currently in the SZR series. Let's go ahead and look through and see how many have made this lead group that are a part of the series. P. Hicks is there, the current leader. There he is, sitting pretty in 6th place. Always where you want to be, up toward the front in a crit-like race. This is a crit racing with the way that the flat courses do interact with the riders, but there's a 4-second gap actually, it looks like, to Burnton, as well as a few others from Poland here. There's going to be Adam Musso for Team Poland there. It was Burnton there also for the Vikings team. Grebnev coming out of Russia there, working with them, but it is only a 2-second gap. And the real country, Denmark, man, here will be Gerard, perhaps. Sorry on the mispronouncing there, most likely. RD there also out of Germany is being closed down very crisply. D Crisp is in there. Good to see the crispy man now. Making his way around at 158 beats per minute. And all back together, Grupo Compacto, it looks like, out on course for the, I believe, top 30 or so amongst this pack, as I am seeing. Actually, top 40 as they make their way past Buckingham Palace. Now moving our way forward in the A category, it does look like it's still all together here with Xander. It looks like Xander, Daniels, Sullivan, Hoppin, Marita, Kalen there, still in and amongst the group. Moving forward, is there any attacks? There is an attack going off the front here. It looks like, oh no, don't do that to me. Thank you very much. And see how quickly we can move forward here without selecting riders off too far in the distance here. And there is a rider off the front. I'm having trouble getting to him. It looks like it is Jay Eriksson, actually, out of Sweden with a 4-second gap. And they're just letting this boy dangle off the front here. 6.0 watts per kilometer, 5.6 as we can see. McCormick here, 28 miles per hour. Eriksson there, 29. So he can continue to go away if he can hold on to this pace in that 5.0 plus here. 28 still here coming from the PTZ rider, actually playing a little bit of sacrifice for everybody else at this point at 4.4 on the front, actually, and really doing some work for the group to pull this back in. Casey Shum now making his way to the front as well. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out with still so many riders in and amongst this group. I'm looking through here and it's at least 35 riders, excuse me, 35 riders, I believe, in this front group still. Actually, I think we dropped off one more just recently, and that would be Hagenbach and Di Pinto. So we are looking at Xander then and the Melty Man, 32 riders in this lead group. A huge group of riders still. 14th currently for Casey Shum there. Making his way around the pack. It's not that important as to where you are unless the attacks are about to start kicking in. You can see the 0% gradient. Everybody's Grupo Compacto out on course. The flatter courses lend to a whole lot of Grupo Compacto riding, a lot of using of the peloton, waiting for the moments to absolutely kill it. And the attacks need to be very concise. They need to be sharp and all out when you do make them, because if you waste any kind of effort on attacks, do not put others in the hurt, do not put others in any kind of stress whatsoever, it's a wasted attack at that point. So you need to really force the group to work extremely hard to bring you back, and it needs to be continual. Once you do start the attacks, we are seeing 1.5 ride starting up. That's coming into the chat here, which is interesting. I think there's a little bit of a bug in game right now that is allowing other chats to come into your chat for your event, actually. So Boniface, we did see him ramping it up there. Looks like he is trying to go off the front again. 9 watts per kilogram quick there. Kim Little goes right along with him. Daniels is trying to go with as well. Might be ruining the day for these boys and bringing the pack all back together. Look at that string out, though. We may drop a few more off as the matches have been burned from quite a few who have just been hanging in. You do see 6 watts per kilogram from Benz here, trying to hang on, 176 beats per minute. Kalen's there, 170. Russell there, no heart rate. Gravdale now. Eriksson. Kim Little there, 160. Boniface continuing at 164 beats per minute. Not too high just yet. With only 5 meters, though, not sure it's going to be going anywhere. And looking through here, Shalaby right along with MacD, Kalen, Opitz, and Weitzner all saying, well, I'm going to trust that it's not going to go anywhere just yet. We are seeing, though, on the back here, Melty Man maybe in a little bit of trouble. 1% uphill gradient there. McCormick now as well. BRT off the back a little bit. Hamed there. Hodges, as we were saying, anybody caught off guard might be in a little bit of trouble, but they're trusting the blob to be sticky enough to bring them right back into the group. All back together now as Boniface's attack has been shut down out there today. I like the Greater London Flat as an option for races. We'll use it on future races I organize, Thea is saying. So good to see you there, Thea. Thanks for jumping into the broadcast. And I'm looking forward to definitely hearing all about races that you're going to be organizing. It is a great, really great course to be using. I believe the Greater London Flat definitely lends to some different race dynamics as well. And knowing you may be doing some efforts on the women's side of things, and I think it would make for some really interesting racing for the women, as they tend to be a little more animated in my experience amongst women's races, but we'll have to see how that turns out. Thanks a lot, Thea, for your comments. Looking through here now, seeing what the comments are over at our Mixer channel. Good to see you guys all tuning in today. PTZ may have a word to say in the B's, BJ was saying, so we'll have to see what's going on over in the B category as well. 10-second gap gone That blob sucks. Sorry, Kim. I shouldn't have done that. CS Tricks apologizing to his teammate in the race right now, right in our chat, actually. We're heading on over to the B category as this is calmed down quite a bit over on the course here. So it is 3 laps out on the Greater London course that we are doing. I'm going to head on over to zippower.com and take a look at where the riders are exact. We are doing 33 miles, so we're about halfway through the race today, halfway through the race in the A category, a little under halfway through the race there in the B category. It does look like it's all together again here for the riders up toward the front. It does look like Allison Kubota still hanging in there with the boys. Coming out of California, U.S. of a Belgian rider here. Geldof now leading things out 7th place, it looks like, and moving his way up into 1st. The Vikings rider now, Vikor in there, out of Norway now, taking up the helm, 4.7 watts per kilogram. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a quick little look at some of the new branding that Zwift does have, actually, as well as have a quick little chat about what is going on over the rest of the week. But if you're new to the world of Zwift and you're wondering what is going on here, a lot of times I get a question, what is this guy doing? Is he actually playing this game? No, we are not actually playing this game right now. We are actually watching real riders from all over the world with real power, real heart rates, hammering away in this race right now. And that is what Zwift does. It connects the whole world through the power of the internet and the power of bicycling in order to create an experience for all of them to ride and race with each other. Not just a racing platform, though. It is most definitely also a platform in which you can ride in group rides. Group workouts was just recently launched. A lot of great things that connect the world of fitness, actually, with Zwift here. Kim Little, before we do go to that real quick little explanation, video representation of what's going on here. Kim Little here in 1st place, put a little dig in up and out of the underpass there, but didn't go much of anywhere just of yet. But I do believe we do have a few heart rates kind of high from that attack here. 175 for S Bay. Hodges there chilling at a solid 156. It feels to me like KRT are playing the smart game, long game here, not making the attacks, following the attacks, and waiting for the moment in maybe the last lap out there today. It does look like a few maybe on the back foot, though. Gravdal here right along with Johnson, ODZ at the back of this group. Daniels and Kalen still trying to close it down. We are seeing those who maybe are in a spot of bother here at this point. Hamed here out of Belgium trying to close it down, 194 beats per minute. And then it will be Xander, also from the SC team. We'll give him a ride and some encouragement to get back on terms. But at this point, it's not going to be able to follow any of the attacks if they do happen at this point. And any more gaps do open up, I would think, with 179 beats per minute. Big Matt there able to follow it right on up, as we can see, riding in that KRT kit as well. 174 beats per minute. Is that who I think it is? Big Matt? I'm going to have to take a look through here. I might have rode around the entirety of Iceland with this boy. Coming out of Serverly, it is General Big Matt. Man, you better be ruining yourself, Big Matt, because if you don't win this race, I don't know, man. I'm going to have to, it's going to be some serious... some serious messages from Nathan on Facebook. Fired. You are fired. Better be decorating this field, Big Matt, out there today, coming out of Cerberus. Good to see you showing up. A man that I rode around the entirety of Iceland. And Big Matt, riding for, and I'm seeing it is the Regent Park Rulers is even in the name. Riding for the RPR out there. The coolest team out on Zwift. So good to see Big Matt hammering along, and I would be watching out for this boy. You let this boy get off the front. This man, after 1,300 kilometers of racing around Iceland, put his head down on the front in a team time trial with me and just made me suffer like no other. And this man knows how to shoot for the long game, that's for sure. We'll see if he can throw down here. Racing in the KRT kit is interesting to me. As we can see here, it's the old school kit for KRT, as you can see. But I believe that may have come down from Mr. Gavin Arbor, perhaps riding for the similar team as his Regent Park Rulers teammate. So watch out for the, I think, official King of Iceland out there as far as racing the WoW Cyclothon goes. A WoW Cyclothon champion, actually, in amongst the racers right now. Shout out to Big Matt for sure. Happy birthday, Nathan. Thanks, I appreciate that. Paul Cataril, really appreciate it. And see if there's any more questions or comments coming on through over at the chats here. If you'd like to interact with the broadcast, you can do so by tweeting or over at Z Community Live, at Z Community Live. As you can see right here, Johnny showed us how to do it. If you're just tuning in, go ahead and bring your questions or comments over at Z Community Live on Twitter, or leave them on the Facebook. I am clicking through over at the streaming platforms as well, if you would like to interact with the broadcast. We do have a 3-second gap now, it looks like here. Kim Little here, 4.6 watts per kilogram, right along with Abe Benz. It will be Gamma, then it will be 40 there on the front, 5.6 watts per kilogram as well. Casey had a massive dropout at Z Community Live. Massive dropout for Casey Shum, it looks like here, according to Rogers. Let's go ahead and look back here and see if Casey is off the back. He is off the back at this point. 2.0 watts per kilogram. Looks like he has thrown in the towel, perhaps. It's too bad to see. I'm going to see what's going on with Casey. I'm actually going to open up his broadcast real quick, as he is broadcasting live right now. And it looks like a little bit of a struggle at this point with his setup, perhaps. Too bad to see that. We'll see if he can. Maybe it doesn't look like it. Looks like it's GG. I mean, the blob is gone at this point, so I do not believe we are going to be seeing Casey back in the race. Too bad to see, as he's such a strong racer. We also seen Johan Nordquist actually also streaming the race over on Mixer. Good to see so many streams actually popping up, and we're super excited about that. We're going to start really ramping up the streaming of Zwift on all the platforms actually, so make sure to be on the watch out for some of our tutorials on what to do there. We're also doing this weekend, we are doing a broadcast, not on Zwift Community Live, on personal channels. We're going to do the 112 mile challenge actually, for the Diamondback challenge actually this weekend actually. 10 p.m. CST is the start time. We are kind of serving more of the Australian slash Eastern market, if you guys would like to jump into it with us. But you can join in late as well. It's not going to be an event in Zwift. It's going to be on our personal channels, and myself and I believe Sombrero may be joining me. He's another Twitch streamer. And 112 miles for the TT Challenge, Diamondback Challenge. And we are going to be also raising money for the amazing WBR charity. And so if you would like to join in with that, we are going to be showing you how to set up for streaming as well during that stream. So a little bit, and showing off what we would like to see on the big WBR day. We'd love to have as many people streaming on the Zwift WBR day actually on December 3rd. So it's a great time to, if you're not going to stream yourself, tune in, see what's going on with other streamers and all the people who are doing their stream that day of that event that we're putting on. Just a quiet little personal channel thing, not, but at the same time, we're going to try and show how others can do that, how it's not just the Zwift Community Live thing only. What we do here is real different as well as what people can do on their own channels for streaming. So definitely check it out this weekend and maybe join in with us. We'd like to get as many people riding with us as we possibly can on those Diamondbacks, completing the mission. Don't have to do the full 112. Jump in for just the 40 with us. Click join ride with. Go ahead and give me a follow. Probably be the easiest way on Zwift to join up, or follow up also Sombrero. I believe it is Anthony Filippo. He also streams over on Twitch. It is just twitch.tv/Sombrero. Lots of PUBG. He's one of the top PUBG players actually in the world. Sombrero actually a top 10 for, I believe, the Australian servers. So pretty amazing. Maybe on the Asia servers. I believe it's Australian servers though. And top 10 in the world in solo for him. So also a Zwifter. And has been killing it on Zwift as of recently, endurance rider, and been streaming a lot of that. Make sure to check that out. So let's see if there's any more questions, comment coming on through. Is Kim Little really the housewife's husband's favorite? Tom Clements is saying. I love Clements' comments coming on through. And I don't know, chat, is Kim Little the housewife's and house husband's favorite? I'd love to hear what chat has to say about that. It looks like they are riding as individuals or are teams helping each other, Tom is saying. No, the teams are most definitely helping each other. There are definitely team tactics, and there are definitely people hanging out in Discord channels in order to interact with each other right now to make sure that the riders are interacting correctly in order to have the right kind of tactics out on the course. I'm actually going to jump into Team ODZ, see if there's anybody hanging out in there. I am seeing a few in there. Not in the race, though. I believe just hanging out and having a ride right now. But I believe a few of them are hanging out in the Discords with their teams in order to pull these tactics off, or messaging each other privately through the Zwift mobile link. We do have two off the front now, 40 and Boniface. This is a threat for sure. They've got another lap to go or so, but they're definitely killing it now, it looks like, off the front here with Boniface and 40 at 5.0 watts per kilogram or so. Ben's there at the front here, 28 miles per hour we're seeing from them. Big Matt heads to the front now. 28 miles per hour from him as well. Kim Little there, not wanting to be left out now, showing that he is the favorite for the housewives and house husbands at 11 watts per kilogram going now, and immediately opens up that gap. Looking over his shoulder, nobody responding with the similar orange numbers now. Maybe nobody able to at this point, or just trusting that somebody's going to go to the front of this pack and just ramp it up. Opitz there here out of Germany, maybe unable to kick into as high of a sprint now at this point. Ericsson now following it right on up, 7.5 watts per kilogram. This might be just a slow drag race to bring the riders back now. Ericsson up in at 9.09 watts per kilogram. Melty Man following closely there. Johnson there just holding the door, following the attacks, making sure they don't go anywhere, and then he's going to shut it down. 4.1 watts per kilogram on the front here. Boniface and Kim Little right along with 40 there, kicking it still into 29 miles per hour, but the group here coming right along at 31 miles per hour. Not sure they're going to be able to hold on to this gap, as the blob is absolutely flying with these little surges that are causing it to get away now here from them with the break here. Now kicking it again at the front will be Hodges here, 6.1 watts per kilogram. Maybe not with the same kind of kick as the riders that were to get away, but Hodges definitely has an all-day TT type pace that he can throw down. Now 3 seconds is all the gap is. Boniface still looking to hold on now. Kicks again, 7 watts per kilogram, but he's up into 178 beats per minute. Not sure it's going to happen here with this effort now, as we are looking over the shoulder here. Still not giving up the ghost, though, of this attack now. 30 miles per hour coming from Boniface. And with only Hodges on the front here, it's all about whether or not people take a turn at the front. And without continual turns at the front, without somebody coming through with a higher pace, it will not close it down. It's just like real life in that respect as well, because we have all this criticism of the current the pack dynamic, but if somebody continues to come through at 5 watts per kilogram in the pack and brings that speed that they've built up from behind here, because if you throw down 5 watts per kilogram and the guy in the front is throwing down 6 and then he backs off, your speed is going to rocket a little bit off the front, right? It's not all about just that ratio that you see in watts per kilogram. It's all about the fact that 5 watts per kilogram is getting a draft. At 300 watts, 400 watts, whatever it might be, you come through. It's going to increase the speed continually through the front of the pack. So it's going to be all about whether or not they push through. And one solo rider cannot close it down by themselves. But Kalen now sitting in. He'll come on through here. Now 26, though, is all it is here. And we're seeing Boniface 25, though, And it looks like 5 seconds is all the gap is. It's going to be... And at this point, what is the motivation? Will they see it as possible still? That's going to be the question. It's going to be whether or not they believe that this can be held on to. Now, ODZ, again, Boniface seems to always be a believer here. 7.2 watts per kilogram. Again, kicking once more. 40 going right along with him. It looks like Kim Little, 6.4, following it up. And now they're holding on to 6 seconds again. They're slowly whittling away at that group at this point, showing, you know, do they have the ability to close this down? Jay Adams here, 158. Johnson here, there, it looks like also sitting in 180 though from Daniels. You are seeing it is putting a little bit of hurt into a few of the riders here, but the melting man here, Mac D, 155. Hopping Rita, 176. Hodges, we are seeing there as well, 148. Super chill at this point for him. Opens there, 162 on the back foot though, I believe, as he was doing a lot of work on the front end of this race here. Kalen there, 3.2, as you can see, 170 beats per minute. A few of the riders, though, playing it smart, though, not believing it's going to get away, sitting in continually, not working on the front, as they're allowing the group to do the job that it usually does. Now the attack is whether or not the attack over the top and out of this underground is going to make it happen. That's going to be the question now at this point. It's Kim Little, 5.3 watts per kilogram. ODZ there with Boniface now hanging onto the wheel right along with 40. And now, do they have the watts to hold off the chase now at this point? We're going to see orange numbers like crazy as we look over the shoulders of the lead group now at this point. There's Boniface going to the front, 7.8 watts per kilogram, 40 now, 8.5. We're also seeing Kim Little, 6.2, hanging on the back now, looking for that draft. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to hang on to it now, having to kick again, 7.3. He was waiting up maybe just a little too much. Rung now, 7.6, almost back on turns, but no, not going to be able to close it down. 4 seconds, still the gap now. They're going to have to kick still into 7-8 watts per kilogram to bring this back. Kim Little's been snapped off the back. It's going to be 40, and Boniface getting away now with Kim off the back, and that is your current series leader, actually, sitting at a solid 50 points overall. Boniface in 7th place currently with that 15 points. 40 in there as well. What is the current race results for the series right now between all of these riders? That's going to be the question right now as we are looking through. It is going to be 40 currently with 18 points, as well as Brett Boniface. But Kim Little is all on his lonesome for the Team Experimental riders, but he's got a huge group to work with him, and it will be Gama now at the front here for the PTZ team, trying to bring them right back in. But 3.0 watts per kilogram is all they got now. 40 now, 34 miles per hour. We are seeing Gama here, 30 miles per hour. Boniface continues to attack on the front, but does he have over 5 watts per kilogram at 179 beats per minute? I'm not sure, but both of these riders have all of the intention of winning this series, it looks like, still here. Boniface kicks as they come around the corner, out of sight, out of mind is what he's looking for, but they are still definitely within their sights with only 5 seconds, and it looks like a solid 6 or 7 miles to go out there still today. Going to be such a difficult race to try and take this W for these boys off the front. They don't want that sprint finish, but I'm not sure they are going to have a choice. 33 miles is the total here. 8 miles to go. 8 miles to go out on course, and still almost all together. Matt Johnson here from ODZ trying to hold the door. 5.2 watts per kilogram on the front of this race. Is it going to go anywhere? 16th place currently for MT Johnson. On the front, we've got 2 still trying to hold off these riders, and I'm being told that it's the last lap, so it is not 33 miles. There's only 2 laps. I was seeing it was 3 laps to the Greater London, but is this it right here? Are we coming into the finish line pretty quickly here? And I'm going to have, this is it right here from what I'm being told. Boniface now 10.1 watts per kilogram now on the front end of this race, but 40 has gone from way out as well. Boniface now 10.0 watts per kilogram. Going to be able to hold on to it, it looks like, here to the line. I'm being told this was the last lap. Well, I was incorrect. It was not. One more to go. Brett Boniface put all of his chips on the table and is going to be your winner today, it looks like, followed by David. Wait, WBR Davis! Oh my goodness, out of nowhere. He almost nipped it at the line, but it was Boniface, I believe, across line, followed by Davis. We're going to have to wait for the official results, but I believe Boniface was rewarded for his effort on the front, but Davis from the pack there with just a crazy 15 watts per kilogram, was trying to time it perfectly with the upset. Not sure it was able to happen there. Thank you so much there, Casey Shum, for letting me know. We had an incorrect lap signage in ZwiftPower.com. It said 3 laps for 33 miles and 52 kilometers, but it looks like it was actually 2 in game. So thank you so much for that update. Looking through here for the official results as we wait for them to come through from ZwiftPower.com. Currently only have the B race in sight right now, but speaking of the Bs, let's go ahead and bring them right on in. Looks like Boniface, though, was able to grab that result at the finish, though. We'll have to wait and see if the WBR man, though, he was coming on like a freight train. Perfect timing from about 200 meters out, 15 watts per kilogram. What a kick. It was like 35 miles per hour already. Kicked it probably up into 40 as it came to the line. And it looks like Boniface just barely nips it. Davis, this is how close it was. There was no seconds. It was the same time for Davis and Boniface, with that last second ditch to the line there coming from Davis. Almost pulled off the upset there. Boniface, though, you know, most aggressive rider, definitely deserved that. He made the attacks happen over and over again today. And looking over at the results right now at SwiftPower.com, you can see Boniface was able to pull this off. 51. Be back. I believe we're back. Please be back. Looking through, looking solid, I believe. There we go. Hey guys, we are back. I believe stream shut down in the middle of the results. Yeah, sorry about that, Martin. We are trying to bring them back for you. And it looks like we've been kicked again. We're having some sort of struggle with our internet service provider right now. And they are in so much trouble with me because as of lately, they have been extremely unreliable. I am sorry about that, you guys. It looks like we are stuck again in the looks like, yep, we're stuck again in the starting pens. I wanted to get the B category race for you. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do so. Let's see if we can work our way on over there. And if I quit event, we might be able to work our way over there. And we are seeing a whole lot of riders around me, so we are not out of the game, at least. We are seeing the Zwift Academy ride starting up. Good to see that. But not helpful for what we want to get accomplished here. Broadcaster mode, please. Can we get some, as we were saying, unable to hold on, though. Davis with that perfectly timed attack through here, and we do see for the A category, we are going to see some swap ups here a little bit here and there. Brett Boniface is a solid 25 points. He's going to jump on up in the second place, chasing down on the heels of Mr. Kim Little himself. I believe Kim Little will jump up into about 60 plus points, though. Team Experimental being chased by not Shane Miller, but we do have Wickstrom here coming to the line. This is great. We just barely able to jump in and see the sprint finish action. I don't know what to do with it. It's currently in first place, though. We do see it looks like Bergquist now. It says first place. It shouldn't say that actually either, so they need to change that up. Not first place out. First place out on course for everybody who's still on course, but that also needs a little bit of a patching, it looks like, as well. Yeah, sorry guys that it keeps on going down. I apologize, but we're having issues, it looks like, with our ISP. I'll give them a call and see what's going on. Speaking of new brands, though, here is the latest from Zwift on what their brand is all about. If you're new to the world of Zwift racing, riding, and group rides and workouts, here is the new face of Zwift and what they're after. And it looks like working out for everybody and everybody. And that is going to be it for me today. If you'd like to check out Zwift and any more broadcasts, we do have plenty of them going on over at the streaming platforms daily. You can just go ahead and head on over there and search the game actually on those streaming platforms, and you can usually find past videos or any kind of live broadcasts from other people in the community. Actually, if you head on over to Twitch or Mixer, search the game actually, and you will see that there are at least always the Go Zwift channel that is online, Zwift Community Live, or a few others like Mr. Sombrero, or I believe there's quite a few actually that are out streaming as of recently. We'll be doing a live web show coming on up. Make sure to hit the follow button over on our Zwift Community Live Mixer and Twitch channel, as well as on our Facebook for when we will go live with that. We'll do a tweet out for what the show is going to be all about later today, as well as time that it will start. USA, not sure we're going to be able to get you though, as some of our guests, I believe, are from the land down under, as well as Europe. And so it may be a very early morning for those of you in the US if you want to tune in. But there's always our VODs over at Twitch as well as on YouTube. ZwiftCommunityLive.com, and you can find all of those places. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in. That'll be it for me. We'll see you tomorrow for our... Where is our thanks for watching? We'll see you tomorrow for our first live web show here on Zwift Community Live.